Welcome back to This Day Live, the Sunday talk show here on Arise News. I'm Reuben, Abati. Now, let's talk about education. When Governor Nasir El-Rufai announced to a delegation of the World Bank that more than 21,000 teachers in the employment of the Kaduna State government failed a competency test meant for primary 4 pupils, many Nigerians were justifiably outraged at the decadence in the educational sector. According to Governor El-Rufai, when the state government, in collaboration with the state chapter of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, decided to subject its teachers to the competency test in order to evaluate their skills, the exercise was designed to assess their virtuosity, but nobody expected the result it produced. Testing 33,000 primary school teachers, giving them primary 4 exams, and requiring they must get at least 75%. It's sad to announce that 66% of them failed to make the requirements. Following the failed exams, El-Rufai has sacked over 21,000 primary school teachers in Kaduna, which has left many people in uproar. People are questioning the wisdom or otherwise of El-Rufai's action, citing that it has brought nothing but unnecessary chaos and confusion to public schools in Kaduna State. Some feel he's to blame as he continued to spend over 10 billion naira feeding school children, only to realize that the teachers are incompetent. Now, it's well known that the hiring of teachers in the past has been politicized, and it is clear that we here in Nigeria need to change that by bringing in young and qualified primary school teachers to restore the dignity of education in the country at large. Tell me, this is not just about Kaduna. It's about Nigeria. A Kaduna story is just a metaphor for the Nigerian situation. What are your thoughts on the status of education here in Nigeria? Do we have quality education as much as other African nations or other countries around the world? As outrageous as the competency test results from Kaduna are, is this a wake-up call we need here in Nigeria to change and develop and modify our educational system?
It's a very sad one. 21,000 out of 33. Your question is actually a proven one. If our education is sound, my answer is outright no, because people go to as close as Ghana, Cotonou, to school. That's how bad, and that's how far, or how low rather, our education has sunk in recent years. And this Kaduna experience has just brought to the fore the mess we've tried to manage over the years. It's happened in many states before Kaduna. It was one of the challenges that Governor Fayemi had to face. And indeed, the teachers formed a bloc and stood against him. And I would think it was one of the reasons he also lost the election, because they didn't want to be tested at all.
Oh, so you mean Governor El-Rufai is at risk? The teachers may refuse to vote for him honestly, in 2019.
Very seriously. And then you may want to commend the Senate President. He had similar challenge in his stage too as governor of Kwara State. And then when he saw the number of teachers who failed primary 4 too, the APC spokesperson now, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, was a commissioner for education.
Yes, I remember that.
And then rather, he reckoned that the teachers too were victims of the, sorry state of education in the country. So rather, he began something that we could term capacity building. And then he started at different layers. And then within 1 year, he said there was result for it. So that is where I am thinking the Kaduna State government could actually look in that direction. Outright sack may not be the solution. Rather we must find what's the cause of this and then start addressing what the problem is. I think essentially its capacity is very low, and then the teachers have to be trained and retrained over and over again. If teachers could fail primary 4 pupils competency test, then that's a serious problem. What kind of graduates do we produce?
Nigeria has a national policy on education, and when you read that national policy on education, it says all the nice things. And once upon a time in this country, people used to come from other parts of Africa, even from Europe and elsewhere, to come and study in Nigeria. Where did it all go wrong?
let's go down the memory lane. You see, what is quota? What is federal character? We ask questions, but we refuse to address the questions from an objective perspective. What is the story? What is the history? What is the background to the adoption of the policy of federal character? Federal character is a policy, as good as it may appear to look in black and white and as presented. Please, its implementation has been detrimental to the promotion of quality education. Because in an attempt to reflect federal presence in all things we do, we have ended up, all right, in engaging in very shoddy, all right, teaching and learning. I do not want to talk about what I have experienced as a chief executive. You see, when, for instance, a governing council will be pleading, interfering in appointments of scholars for professorship, please, everything has been bastardized. Professors, you are talking about primary school, secondary school, please, it is all over. Africa is in trouble. It's not just Nigeria. Please, I had the opportunity to be an external examiner for some examinations, for some institutions. People even come from Ghana, from Benin Republic. They will attend English-speaking institutions there. You will see graduates holding a degree, all right, in a Francophone country. They will not understand even a complete sentence in French. Now, if, for instance, you go to an English-speaking institution where the language of instruction is English, what about the environment in which you live that you cannot, have impact of the people? I've been dealing with some people from these type of institutions. They know virtually nothing. All right. Yet they are trained elsewhere in these same West African countries. The good universities are there for them to go to. But you can see now that we have many mushroom tertiary institutions here and there in Africa. And they come back to Nigeria. So when you now come to El Rufai, I think El Rufai should be specially commended. The issue is not re-election. You don't have to be re-elected. People have been told that for what I'm doing, especially when I was Director General of NIA, my appointment will not be renewed. I say, look, what does that mean? You don't have to. But let us, for once, stick by what is correct. Now, I don't agree with Wale when he said, look, sacking more than 21,000. Please, if a teacher was given a primary 4 examination, primary 4, not primary 5, not primary 6, and he couldn't do well, how are you going to be panel beating, quote and unquote? Are the teachers vehicles?
You're not panel beating.
Wale, with teachers failing the exams, basic examination, primary school level, with university graduates being churned out by, hundreds of Nigerian universities who cannot even write a successful paragraph in English language.
That's the issue.
What are the implications for national competitiveness? Because at the end of the day, this is about national competitiveness, the skill set in the country.
I think the result is out there. Unemployment. It's sad. You can't fit in anywhere, honestly. And then low capacity is everywhere. Different sectors. You can see that the result of this half-baked graduates it's evident.
Is this linked also to the poor governance in the country?
Of course.
Because some of these people will end up becoming
Naturally,
local government chairmen,
it is,
governors.
Yeah. You can't. It's interwoven. It's a systemic thing. You can't. It is what you get, what you produce that you get.
You see, Wale, let me remind us of one thing here. When the professors in this country came out and argued that professors were being paid 120,000 or 75,000, and they were complaining about local government chairmen being paid more. What was said by that time? The professional politician says, if you want to earn more, yes, please come and join politics. So the value given to education or something was virtually zero. Yes, precisely.
But is it really about money? Should it be measured in terms of cash?
No, the issue is that when
at the end of the day, you have your bills to pick, regardless.
Yeah, but I mean, teachers shouldn't fail to teach, or they should not teach their students nonsense because they are not well paid.
I think it's about
it's about the training.
Those who have the training they won't come for the job.
Precisely.
They won't.
Those who are well qualified, all right, are not there.
There is no attraction.
They are not paid. But a school starter who is elected as a chairman local government, earning 3 times that.
I think it's not all about money. It's about creating an enabling environment for merit and excellence.
Yeah, we don't have that yet.
Because if you go to some of our universities, they are underfunded. The education sector itself is grossly underfunded.
It's part of it.
You know, and you don't have the kind of environment that even encourages learning or concentration on the part of either teachers or scholars.
Research is not funded. Nobody cares about research. If, for instance, okay, look at it. The politics in Nigeria. If you want to get government to give you money, all right? Invite the governor or the minister or head of state.
And give him an honorary degree.
Precisely. And then everything is going on.
Every major politician is an honorary
doctor.
And look at
even those who dropped out.
More critically, people will go for this religious training.
Grace Mugabe's type of PhD.
3 months training, 6 months training, they become doctor. And everybody is answering doctor. So education has been bastardized.
Completely.
Whereas,
and we seem to be enjoying it.
You are either a holder of an MBBS, Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Science, and you are called a doctor, or you have a PhD. But now we don't even know
who ended.
Who now should be called a doctor. Everybody is a doctor in Nigeria. Everybody.
Including roadside mechanics.
Yes.
One mechanic calls himself Doctor of Motors. It's an interesting country, but you know, when the education system in the country fails, then that country is in trouble.
You look at
because other countries of the world, you know, Germany, United States, the UK, they are constantly reforming the education system because they realize that the competition in the world today, if you don't build a competent set, you know, of leaders for the future, then your country will lack the capacity to compete. But the way some other people resolve this is they send their children abroad.
Abroad, yes.
Is that the option for everybody?
No.
Or they send their children to private universities, private schools?
It's a non-solution. Because the children they send abroad, they can acquire whatever education, but they're coming back
to join this one here.
Yes, and then they will be corrupted.
Absolutely.
Eventually, the virus will be following them wherever they go to.
And then look at the disposition of the leadership.
But you see, many of these young people, you know, who study abroad, many of them don't even come back. So what is happening to Nigeria now? You have the brain drain phenomenon.
Yes.
The kind of thing that happened to Ireland at the turn of the 19th century.
They will come back.
Oh, really?
The issue is that for now, they are not coming back. But by the time they begin to age, they are getting older and older and older. The environment in Europe, in advanced countries, is such that you cannot easily integrate. All right?
I don't think so.
Please, you see, you can say you are a citizen of the United States, citizen of America, citizen of Britain or France, Germany. Yes, you are a citizen, but even if they do not say second citizens, the reality on the ground is that Here you can be Mr. President, you can compete, you can contest. All those things you cannot do.
They are not keen about those things. So.
But in reality,
they are worried more about the functional system which Nigeria has failed to give.
Please,
and there they have it.
Please let me tell you.
the reality though,
I used to be a head cleaner in France. I was the head cleaner at Hotel Concours Lafayette.
head cleaner,
Head cleaner.
that must have been a very prestigious job.
Precisely. Look, people who are in Europe, we have categories of work. All right? Some people are driving taxis, etc. along. When you have the executive type of jobs, like being a cleaner, as distinct from going to farm to pluck fruits, etc. along.
Okay.
Please. I was even a concierge.
Really?
Yes, concierge in France, in Neuilly-sur-Seine. And the mayor of Neuilly-sur-Seine was living in my house. I was there cleaning their toilets, cleaning everywhere. I was an executive cleaner.
Is that supposed to be some white-collar job?
Yes. So, but you cannot go beyond that. Whereas when you come back to your country, you are a better person.
Well,
That's arguable. I disagree, bro.
Anyway, we got to go on break. You are watching ThisDayLive, the Sunday talk show, here on the Arise News with me, Reuben Abati. We're going to take a short break now. Do stay with us.